The annual preseason college football magazines are out, and one guy thinks the Sooners are winning it all.
I'm not so sure I agree with that, but how good are the Sooners? From the Opupco Studios in Oklahoma City, this is the Press Row with Mike Sherman. I'm Jenni Carlson. Mike, I'm not ready to jump the shark and say the Sooners are the #1 team in the country, but where do they fit? Where should they be ranked?
Phil Steele has them ranked #1 in his preseason magazine, one of the first one to come out, and I guess he's basing it on this. The Sooners got to see what the future would look like last year with Landry Jones. He's got a year under his belt, and he didn't play that bad. He was a bowl-winning quarterback in spite of being thrown under the fire. They also got Quentin Carter back in the secondary. They've got a good secondary coming back. Now, there is a small matter of all those first-round picks, but the Sooners got two things going for them, or three, actually. They got a coaching staff that knows how to rebuild on the fly. They've got a non-conference schedule that gives them a chance to post some marquee wins, and that wins that'll keep paying dividends as the BCS computers roll. Yeah. And then they've got a bunch of guys returning in key positions. DeMarco Murray, Ryan Broyles. Yeah. I'm not saying national championship, but I think the Sooners are going to be in the conversation. And you know what? Just from a fan standpoint, that's all they really owe their fans.
Yeah, I mean, I think that if you can be in that conversation for the top spot, come mid to late October, that's really what you're looking to do, and that's where you're looking to be. The first-round draft picks that are gone, 4 guys that were drafted in the first round off of last year's team. But remember, 2 of those guys didn't play at all last year, one of them being Sam Bradford, the other one being Jermaine Gresham. Both hurt, didn't play it down for OU that, probably they weren't injured for. Bradford played a very limited amount with that hurt shoulder against Texas. So Oklahoma's already filled those gaps in some regard. Now, I will say, fill in the gaps of Gerald McCoy on the defensive line. I mean, that's going to be a hole to fill, and there's going to be some guys that will have to step up. But you look at that defense, and I do think it is pretty strong. Question still remains, Mike, in my mind. Offensive line, can they be better? Receiving core, can they be better?
Well, and the receiving core, a lot of the answers came in the spring. They had Kenny Stills show up from San Diego, enrolled in school early, was the star of the spring game. They had some young receivers who, as the season wore on, DeJuan Miller, others looked really good. The offensive line tested by adversity. Those guys were actually the guys who took most of the brunt of the criticism last year when things didn't go well. And then the defensive line, Jamarcus McFarland, big-time recruit, ready to step in. The Sooners always seem to have a defensive tackle ready to go. I like the sound of them competing. I don't know that I would rank them #1, but Phil Steele got out there and did it.
Yeah, I think some of these other preseason magazines have said they're maybe in that late top 10, 8, 9, 10, even into the upper teens. I think that's legitimate. And honestly, if you start there when the season begins, you'll be in good shape if you win games. Now, granted, this non-conference schedule the Sooners have, they have a chance to really build some nice momentum with wins. But last year, we thought with their non-conference schedule, they had a nice chance to build momentum with wins. Instead, you saw Sam Bradford get hurt. You saw losses as the season went on, obviously BYU to start the year. So while it looks like there's a good chance, the Sooners have to take advantage of that opportunity. They have to go out and win those games. And that's going to take, an accelerated pace of play from a lot of guys. I think there's been some promising signs out there, Mike, but clearly they're going to have to do it on the field. Hey, stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.